Monday, June 17th, and the Dome Foamers podcast is back. I am your host, Christian Kruger. And as always, today I'm joined with Neil Mieski, and we're just lifelong Astros fans that love to talk about the Astros. So, boys, let's go. Episode 53 for the Dome Foamers podcast. We're back. Last week, Neil was traveling. He's back. This week, Dorton has got some work stuff going on. So if he can join us, he will. If not, I'm always here, and that's really all that matters. So,
Thank
man,
goodness.
yeah, I know. Let's thank goodness. First, let's thank our sponsors, Two Gringos Chupacabra and the fan favorite package. That is the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. Here it is. We'll do something on social media as always. We want to thank them for being the title sponsor. And that is 2gringoschupacabra.com. Season rubs, season all and rubs. They do a great job. Okay. Neil obviously listened last week. The Astros went 3-3 for the week. What a surprise! I think I had them at 2-4. I think Dorton had him at 4-2, and Neil texted saying that he said 6-0.
Yeah,
So
thanks for
he
that.
was, after they lost on Monday or
Yes,
Tuesday,
yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah. I
So
appreciated that. That was good.
we are an overall record of 33-39, and here's the key: 9 games back of the Seattle Mariners, which Neil has the standings behind him on as a cover wall page on YouTube. That's the problem. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. There are some things we'll bring up, but this has exactly been my concern for weeks. Is I don't believe we have the ability on a performance side offensively consistently, and I know we don't have the starting pitching to make a run and to go a 9-1. I mean, that's really what it's going to take to get in this thing is go have a 9-1 winning
Couple
streak.
of them, a couple of them at that.
Yeah. So what we'll get in the details here in a minute, but Neil, give me your temperature check now, since we missed you last week and now 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I mean it's the time's winding down. I mean, we can say, well, we went 500, but going 500 doesn't get us to where we want to go. And if you remember when we sat down and we did the Seattle Mariner record and the Houston Astro record, well, so far, I know on the Astro side of things, we're spot on. And when we did that scenario, we were significantly dropping in the standings, and you're seeing it. I mean, you just pointed it out. We're 9 games back. I mean, at what point do we cut the string and say, this is it? We did unload some dead weight, obviously, and we'll talk about that here shortly. But you're sitting out 9 games, and Seattle doesn't look like they're going to drop the ball anytime soon on their own. So we've got to just make some tough decisions sooner than later. Not saying that we can't come back, not saying that that's impossible, but I've said this for a couple weeks now, I guess. There's just no signs. There's no signs saying that, we need to stick this thing out for the long haul and things are going to come together. So there's constantly something happening. I mean, we had the 2 Tommy Johns, and then this past, I guess it was just 2 days ago, Saturday, you get Verlander, and you never know what that means and what that looks like. So there's just no great signs out there that says stick this thing out and ride this thing out and everything's going to be okay and we'll sneak into a wild card berth. And I don't know about all that. So again, I just feel like we're spinning our wheels, going nowhere fast. We're on a treadmill.
Yeah, you know how I feel about it. I started the sail wagon 2 weeks ago, and I'm still there. We've now passed, basically, as y'all like to make fun of me, my 3 or 4 dates, and yet the results are the same. let's play a game where, okay, we get above 500 and we go win 86 games, and somehow that's the last wild card spot. And there's going to be people out there that say, "Oh well, once you get in, you never know."
Sure.
That's true. But where's the pitching going to come from?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if the pitching became consistent, and I, I would, and I know Dana Brown's saying all the things. I don't believe anything that he says. I think he's told what to say. We'll get into that here in a little bit. That we're not going to be sellers. Why not? Like, why not? And
Yeah.
just so people don't think that I'm just, I don't like the way we're playing. I have a plan in place. The plan in place is, okay, we're probably not going to be great next year, but we're going to be better organizationally moving forward for 26. And I would stock the farm for the future. I don't want to go through another 10, 15 years like we did in
No.
the 2006
Yeah.
to 2014.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
want to do that again. And that was aging players, aging contracts, and I'm not going to go down all 2005, right? But there's a lot of similarities that are going on. And instead, I would sell the expiring contracts, which in my world, expiring contracts, or in my opinion, is this year and next year. Obviously, you've got to find out. They'll know better than we are where they are re-signing Fromber and Tucker, but those two you can wait a little bit on. But the Bregmans, the Presleys,
Yeah.
Caratini, who again I'm a Caratini fan, but he's valuable. Trade those guys, get something for them.
Yeah. And I think, I
I
mean,
don't know that we will. I don't know that we will.
we may not. I'll give I'll give Dana Brown and the organization a lot of credit in definitely not tipping their hand on anything. And so is it not tipping their hand? I'm going to give them that credit for the time being, but it could also be some dysfunction and some more unorganized decision making from, again, the normal culprits of Jim Crane, Jeff Bagwell. So for the time being, yeah, they're screaming, we're in it, we're going, we're not sellers, we're getting after this thing. And I just don't know that I believe any of that to be true, because there's been nothing. I mean, there's no better example than Houston radio is talking about Jose Abreu, and they've got Dana Brown on, and Dana says, yeah, we're rocking through this thing, we've got a timeline.
We have a timeline.
Yes. And 2 hours later, it's released that he's gone. And so it's just, and I understand they're doing so many things behind the scenes that, a bunch of fans won't understand. And they're right, I don't understand. And I'm just hopeful that it's not a mess. I'm hoping it's not.
Okay, well, let's dig into that. You brought it up. As most know by now, Jose Abreu, the disaster that he is and has been DFA'd. I applaud that. It needed to happen. I think it should have happened the first time, which I'm going to ask you that question here in a minute. But he's gone. There's roughly $30+ million that they're going to eat. Let's use some context and let's tackle that real fast. 95% of the people thought that it was a good idea signing him. We all were one of them.
Sure.
I didn't like 3 years. I thought that might be a year too long, but I wanted him in the lineup, and it did not work from the get-go. Okay. Yes, he had a better September and playoffs, but this year was worse than the start last year. And it was historically bad. It's been documented. We know it. He's 90. He ended up 96% worse than the average Major League Baseball player. I mean, it is historically bad. So here's my question: he couldn't be in the lineup anymore. I will say this: I think Espada was tired of writing his name.
Sure.
Why then? Why was he brought back?
Yeah.
Like, why do you send him to Florida, and then there's some agreement in there that he had to agree to go, but then some agreement on the back end that said, well, when I'm ready to come back.
Yeah. Give me one more chance.
And I would love to know what was the point of that, because they pulled the plug on it fairly quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know the true story in that, because there's also reports out there that Jim Crane was ready to pull the plug weeks ago. But
I saw some of that.
But and again, who knows if that's all true? But who Jeff Bagwell was the one saying, give him another chance, give him another chance, allegedly. So if any of that's true, I mean, that's again some of that dysfunction perhaps going on. Now, I don't have a problem with the Astros giving it one last hurrah. I mean, that was a pretty big step to have this guy go to the Florida minor leagues and put it together and see if you can do it one last time. I don't hate that. I mean, it's a $17 million a year investment. I understand giving it one last hurrah. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe they were ready to cut him then, and they negotiated. Hey, let me see. Who knows? Who knows what that looks like? But yeah, it's over. The Jose Abreu experience is over. It did not work. Wasn't even close to working. Jim Crane said, "Let's go. I'm all in."
Yeah, this is and with that being said, this is where I get frustrated with the mismanagement of what's going on, because I do think you said it earlier. You're worried that there is dysfunction going on in the organization. Well, I'm here to raise my hand saying I believe there is dysfunction going on in the organization, because Tucker gets injured, which I don't even know where to begin on that situation. We'll talk about that in a minute. Tucker gets injured. We bring up Cabbage first, right? You're muted.
Sorry, when Tucker went down.
I
don't
believe
remember the order
Cabbage.
of all
Yeah,
that.
I don't either. But
Because
the thing
Diaz
is,
gets hurt and
yep.
Salazar maybe shows up, all that kind of
Yeah, but
debacle.
I think the first move was Cabbage, and then went just to cover a couple of games, and then when he actually hit the IL, they brought up Lou Perfito, Joey Bats, and then they send him down, and 2 days later they DFA Abreu. And so now Joey Bats, based on being sent down, a month, 3 weeks ago, then called up, then sent back down, makes him ineligible till the 21st of June, which is in 4 days.
Right.
You're telling me they didn't know that? They know that. That is a complete mismanagement and dysfunction going on. And I'm not saying that Joey Bats is the answer at first base. I don't care if he plays there all the time, but he's an option because he's athletic and he plays at some of the minors. Why are they not playing him? Just giving him a shot at first base. We're 6 games under 500. What does it matter?
Yeah, I just think that
And they sign a
signals.
guy that's hitting 170, Cooper Hummel, who got DFA'd from, I guess, the Diamondbacks or Angels or somebody. I
Yeah,
don't even care, to fill a roster spot, who plays, guess what? First base and outfield.
yeah. They're clearly not sold on Loperfido playing first. I mean,
No,
has
they're
he
not.
gotten one? Has he gotten one? He hasn't done one time in Houston,
No,
right?
they let Abreu hit, and then they pinch ran for him after he struck out, because then he was the ghost runner the next inning. But no,
Yeah, but no,
they put Devon in at first. They put him out in the
yeah,
outfield.
yeah. I mean, clearly there's something that they don't like about him playing first. I mean, that's fairly evident. Espada
But
or
I'm not asking him to play on a regular basis. But if you need him in an emergency situation as your third first baseman, or don't be morons and call him up and send him back down immediately so he's ineligible. That's my issue. Is he can play it.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Again,
Mismanagement. It's dysfunction.
There's some dysfunction. I think that's what these are signs of potentially having. And again, it's just been so many things, so many issues that have popped up throughout the year. It just adds to the story of the possibility of having some sort of dysfunction at the top. I mean, that's where our brains go to because it is steady. It is. I mean, we've had to make. I'd be interested to know the roster moves made this year. I can't imagine somebody making more than we've had to make.
I bet you we're easily in top 5. I'll look it up for the next. I'll look it up for the next one. But
I just feel like we're constantly, robbing Peter to pay Paul and then paying Peter back and then get Paul back. And then, God dang. I mean, it's just taking blows left and right. There's nothing consistent.
No, there's not. You have Singleton and you have Dubon that they're willing to play there. Okay, so let's just assume Luperfido is your emergency third. Well, I mean, Cabbage can play it too. Yeah. So I mean, why are we picking up Cooper Hummel? What was that about? I don't even understand what that was about.
Where does he fit into the?
He doesn't.
Where does he eat up innings and for where, for what? I mean, is he now the 26th guy at the end of the bench that just? I mean, I don't know.
I know. It's almost laughable at this juncture. I mean, it's just like, and it's just what it does. It reeks of pre-2015. It's reeking of pre-2015 when we started seeing a plan in place before that moment. 2015-16, we started. Okay, we've got some draft picks. We've got some development. We're getting better. We actually see us moving forward. Are we great yet? Nope. This reeks of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, there's still time to make these trades. And being 7 games back for the wild card. I mean, time's ticking. I mean, that's where I'm at. We're going nowhere fast. And I'm not saying we have to make that decision today. I know you have you've stopped moving the goalposts. You're saying done, and I get that. I'm still willing to drag this thing out a little bit to see what this Abreu cloud being removed does for us this time. So it's not great. They could potentially pull themselves out, but not likely.
Yeah, but so let's play a couple games here. Let's play. If
my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Right. Exactly. The if game. I don't know where we were on our schedule predictions, but I'm going to tell you this. Seattle's a lot better off right now than we are on our schedule predictions. When we did the next 36 games.
Yeah.
So, because we keep losing ground to them. So that tells me all I need to
know.
Well,
that's what we said was going to happen. That's exactly.
2 of us did.
Oh, one saying.
Well, the Irishman just thinks we should. Whatever Seattle does, we need to do. I'm like, no. Seattle's got pitching. They're not gonna go 21-15 over the next 36. They're not. Yeah. And which whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So there's what I don't know now 25 games or so till the All-Star break.
We
have to go like 18-7.
And again, looking at it, we've got 3 at Chicago, then we got 3 here versus Baltimore. I mean, that doesn't scream a winning week. Now, Chicago, not good. Baltimore, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you back that up with the 2 at home versus Colorado. Okay, feel great about that. And then we go on our 10-game road streak. 10-game road. Oh, at New York, at Toronto, at Minnesota. Again, we're going there with who's pitching again?
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to get into that. I mean, I know I've hammered that on this thing, but I mean, just when you're starting to love Aaron Getty, now they had
Yeah.
to move him up, they had to bump him up, but then that was an awful start. Now
Yeah.
Hunter Brown is pitching like lights
Who
out.
is this guy? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the guy that I thought would be better to start, but his start was so horrific.
Yeah.
He has lowered his ERA by 5 runs, which is not easy to do. But you know what that means? That makes me want to think is like, when's it going to go the other way?
Yeah.
I mean, it's consistently inconsistent, and that's what this team is.
Correct.
So, okay, all right. So we have 16 games left. No, 18 games. You said 3. I'm sorry, dude. I messed that up.
No, so we are on game 73.
Yeah, but what do we have to the All-Star break?
So we end at game 96. So 23. Am I
23
way
games.
Off? Okay.
No. Our math teacher got that one. He nailed that.
7, 8.
So
good.
So we need to go at the worst. I don't care what Seattle and the other. I don't care. That's my argument. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We have to like we need to go 15-8 at worst.
24 games.
16-8. Right? I mean, 16-8 only puts us 2 games over 500.
16-8? That doesn't even do that.
Yeah, we're 6 back. So if we go 16-8, we're 2 games over 500.
Are we 6 behind? Okay.
Yeah, we're 33 and 39.
Yeah, then yeah, that would be it. And I mean, is that good enough?
No, we don't know.
I mean, that's what I know. But
14 and 10 ain't going to get it done.
No.
14 and 10 is not going to get it done.
I mean, even what if we are 500, but we're 8 games back from the, and then everybody's going to foam at the mouth for that wild card spot. Which, you know what? We could get it. At what cost?
Exactly. Because this current roster is not going to get it. So that means you have to be a buyer, and that means you're exactly at what cost.
Yeah, and I think what I really think is going to be interesting is I think the direction of this organization this year, and you're gonna throw a fit when I say this. The direction we go this year is based on 2 guys, and that is McCullers and Garcia.
Yeah, you're right. I am going to throw a fit.
If they feel like those 2 guys are healthy and can come back soon to save the season, then I don't believe. I mean, if we're relatively close,
but just because they come back doesn't mean they're going to be good.
I get that. And Jim Crane's mindset is another just factor in all of this, of course, because he's made the comment: as long as I'm here, we're going to be relevant. Well, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost him. So all those things will be interesting to watch play out. I really, in the back of my mind, and again, I know you're going to go, well, then it's a done deal. But if McCullers and Garcia, even in the slightest, are not 100% in time, which is very possible, history has
Right.
shown, then I'm hopeful that they see that as a sign to like just accelerate this selling. And again, I would be okay with just selling Bregman.
I'm not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would just be okay with that. Um, because I'm not ready to give up on next season. Now, if for the right price, Fromber, yes. Yeah, I'd deal Fromber.
That's putting you while I'm with you. Like
Yeah.
if you look at the caller ID and it says Baltimore Orioles, I'm like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just using them as one example. But if you trade him for the right price, I'm not getting discounts. Come on, bring me. You have a
Yeah.
controllable lefty for next year. You're gonna pay, right? But that is that's him. Him just alone. You're pretty
You're
much walking
crossing
that
a
line. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
you're
walking the
crossing the line.
line that
No.
25 is going to be a problem.
Yes, you're crossing the line if that's the case. Um, I agree with that. So that's why I'm Bregman, you're not having in 25.
Right.
You know that. Um, Depending on the health of those guys, the other pitchers, what do they think is going to happen with Verlander? There had to have been conversations.
Okay, I wanted to get in that, but can you table Verlander for a second?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
think because how you pick two guys, I've got two guys that I think is really, and he's one of them. But so let's say let's go with the obvious ones first. Bregman, okay, gone. You
Yes.
cannot, you you can't pay $15 million next year for Ryan Stressel. You cannot.
Yep.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I would definitely you're right.
And that's at
He
what
needs to be
50.
in that
I
mix.
think it's 50 appearances. So what do we mean by that for those that are going to listen? 50 appearances means that he triggers him a $15 million vested player option, and that needs to be paid by somebody else other than us.
Yeah.
So then you have
Yeah.
him. I think so. Then you have him. Then I know people don't like hearing it, and I'm a fan, but I don't really care. You can Victor Carantini is going to get value. He will have value because he is a switch hitting catcher who's performed well. There's not enough of them. There's probably 8 to 10 teams that are happy with their catching situation, and some of
Mm-hmm.
those are not. I mean, there's some winning teams or teams that are 500 or better that are not happy with their situation. So that's going to increase his value. He's
Yeah.
got a contract for next year. I love him. I would love for him to be an Astro next year. However, he's valuable. I think he's a piece that you need to move. And then it comes back to a guy that we've talked about forever on this podcast, Jake Myers. You know, I don't. He's going to have more value currently because of his defensive metrics, as we've talked about, and his performance. I do think regression's coming, but hey, the guy's having a good year.
Yeah.
But they love him, so I'm assuming they're not going to want to deal him. I don't know what Chaz would get you because he's not a true everyday probably center fielder. I think he personally is. He's just not going to be a defensive metric. I would move one of those two guys. I personally would move Myers because then you have Luperfito that can play some center and so forth. I do think Luperfito's ceiling is higher than Myers, especially offensively. That's just one guy's opinion. And then it comes down to if Verlander going to waive his no trade clause to
Yeah.
go somewhere to try to win a ring.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
I don't want him next year.
I would be okay. I would be okay with it. Let's say, because I keep struggling with the fact that at the beginning of this year, we all said this is a 90-plus team. This is a 90-win team.
Yeah.
I understand we hoped
One of
would
us
be
said
better.
104.
Yeah. Yes, he did. So Abreu didn't work out, obviously. Bregman will be gone. But the remaining pieces that we said, hey, this group of guys is going to win 90-plus games. Other than Bregman, those guys are back. Those guys are back next year. So then you go, well,
I buy that. I buy that with a lot of what you're trying to say, except for the people that are 41 years old, because that means a year older.
yes, well, that's what I'm saying. But then you go next year, you look back and you go, these same guys only won 82 games.
Right.
So I struggled to go which way to really go with this and start it all over, clean house, keep the key parts and build around it. And like you're saying, be ready for 26, get through 25, get some pieces in the minor league systems and bring them up in 26, be something better. I struggle with that versus hanging on, clinching to the glory years one more time, because the pieces are kind of there now. Every now and then you go back even to the point of the last week of last season. We didn't even know we were going to make it. We're looking at charts to see what needs to happen in order for us to make it. And so I don't know. It's just there's so many mind games that I'm struggling with which way to go in this whole deal, and I just it's hard to let go. But I think yes, if nothing else, Bregman needs to go. Then Presley, you're right. That's a big piece that needs to be shipped off. Yeah, and then you start crossing lines after that, in my opinion. You start crossing over into rebuild quickly mode. If you say, if you get too deep into some of this, well, then we're not even talking about 26.
Yeah. My issue with Verlander, other than, I mean, his performance is not worth what us and the Mets, because thank God the Mets are paying some of that. It's just not even close to worth. I mean, these 4 and 5 inning games just drive me. I mean, it it because I know you get the text messages, right? But it puts the bullpen behind almost every time he starts. And it ain't it look, it's not just him, but
Yeah.
me pick on him because of what he's being paid.
And what we gave up. Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer Getty is a prorated $700,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't expect him. You expect Verlander, and he's 41. I mean, or 40. I don't know what he is now, but Father Time is undefeated, and it's just coming like stiff neck. Well, dude, I get it. I get a stiff neck sometimes too. I'm not a pitcher for the Astros. That stuff's not going to decline. It's going to keep happening because you're getting older.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons, he did not start them on time.
Right.
I mean, I'm with you.
I mean, if you can get a prospect and a marginal prospect and he can waive his no trade clause and go wherever, I don't see how you can say no to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would be that to me, that's crossing the line even. I mean, you're signaling that this is the end of the era.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And look, this era has been kind to us because the first, let's see, 38 years hasn't been very kind of the era. So, I mean, I get the nostalgia, I get the love, but as we started this podcast, I would rather take a 2-year hit. Let's say maybe 3, than a 10-year hit. And I'm telling you, if we hold on too long here and you don't sign Fromber and you don't sign Tucker,
Yep.
you're now in that 8 to 10 year hit. And that is not going to be fun for any of
Yeah,
us.
and Tucker is the final straw on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, he is if he leaves, it is. You might as well Pena,
I I don't even
there's
know if this I don't even know if this is feasible. And look, we know the history of the Astros and Jim Crane. He does not like giving more than 6 years. Okay. 6 years, we know is not going to get it done with Tucker. Maybe you can say, look, we'll do 10-year, 300 million, but it's going to be prorated. I mean, it's not prorated. It's going to be a scale, just like
yeah,
they've done with the rest, because then you can have Abreu fall off the books, Montero fall off the books, Lance Mieski Jr. fall off the books, um, and all those bad contracts,
yeah,
and say, hey, look, we'll pay you 15, 18, 18,
and then
24,
yeah,
24, 32, 32. I see. I mean, but 10 years, 300 million is a lot of money.
hmm
And he's not going to go below 8.
yeah, and in 10 years we may look at that contract and again, I've said I have never seen one that works, that someone's walked away, gone, and said, I'm glad we did that. Um, you could get a bargain early on for sure. And then towards the end, may regret,
Yeah.
may be frustrated.
Well, they kind of all work that. You're buying the first 5 years to be painful the next 5, right?
Sure. It's
I
it's
mean,
somewhat of an understanding.
yeah,
And it's a painful pill to swallow. And then you start looking at Altuve eventually leaves. Signing Alvarez finally for probably he can get what he's actually worth. It's they've got some. We're not in a great spot. I mean, there's
mm-hmm.
some tough decisions that need to be made, and
Well,
again,
that's what happens. That's what happens when you're 7 years in a row in
yeah,
the ALCS. So I mean,
sure,
it comes with a cost.
for sure, yeah, and I'm still sticking to the All-Star break as my cutoff spot, and at that point in time, I think again the cloud of Abreu is gone. There is no more excuses there. So what's left? What do we look like from this point on? It is going to be telling to me as far as who this team is, what this team is about. And if it's continual neck this, hand this, shoulder setback, Garcia's not ready, McCullers looks like he's whatever, then it's just not in the cards. And the sooner that they make those decisions, I mean, again, it's going to be crunch time. It's going to be down to the wire on some of these trades. You know how that stuff works. I don't think we're going to wake up in a week and find out anybody's been traded.
No,
Right
not
time,
here.
right place, all that kind of stuff has to play out. So it will be interesting to see those decisions made within the next couple, I mean, weeks. It's
Yep.
hard to, I mean, are we really seeing Bregman in an Astros uniform for the last handful of times? That's interesting to think about. And we've gotten over, I mean, guys leaving before, but we had a minor league team.
Yep. All right. You want to wrap this bad boy up with some predict? Do you want to do the next 24 games? Do you want us to get on record there what we need to do or what we think we'll do?
I think we did
And
it.
then
I
we
mean,
did, but I mean, yeah,
let me
mine's not going
see.
to change much. I think me and you kind of came to the conclusion that we would do 21 and 15 um, when we did 36 games. You just want to go for the week
I thought it was
predictions
the
and
other
then
way around. I thought we had a losing record.
I think you're right. I think we did. No, we had a winning record. It was very close to what we predicted Seattle to do, and I thought we were being very conservative with Seattle's prediction. But let's save that for next week. So we'll have
Yeah, that's
less
fine.
games, and we'll do eight. We'll do the last 18 games before the All Star break. We have the Stros are off. We're recording this on Monday. They're off today. They play 3 in Chicago. I'm gonna tell you what, if they drop a game, you're gonna get the cell text messages from me again. And
Just
then they
make it, yeah, push me in a direction. I'm tired of floating around here and going, well,
I've been
another week.
trying. I've been trying to push you in the
Yeah.
direction, bud.
I
I've been
need
trying.
like a flat out,
I
like,
mean,
we absolutely suck.
I wasn't even happy with the win the other day because it.
Yeah, I know. I know. I keep eyeballing this 10-game road streak as something that's going to make or break us. I mean,
After we play the Orioles at home.
yeah, but this is how it's been working. I mean, we'll play the White Sox and we'll feel all warm and fuzzy. We'll play Baltimore and we'll feel like crap. And then we'll play Colorado and we'll feel good again, got things back together. Well, then we go on the road. For 10 games, we're on the road. And I don't know why. I just feel like this is this may
June
be
1st. Just for the record, June 1st, I said sell.
June 1st. And
Well, I was texting saying, just sell this thing. Just sell it.
What did I do with all your? I guess I finally deleted them. I kept your last.
Well, yeah, my last one was June 15th. We're past that.
Yes, June 15th.
And we're now 9 games back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're
2 weeks ago. We were 2 weeks ago. We were 4.5 games back.
But even if you say sell now, I mean, is there somebody that wants Bregman right now, and is that the time to sell him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you get more at the crunch time?
I don't know. I mean, he's a rental, so probably not. The Diamondbacks need a third baseman. The Yankees need a third baseman. Off the top of my head, I don't know who plays third base for the Dodgers.
He will not go to the Yankees.
I don't think he has no trade clause.
He will not go to the Yankees. He'll go to the Diamondbacks.
Bregman his horses and his salts are now out there. Oh yeah.
If Bregman walks out in a Yankee uniform, I don't know who would hate him more, Astro fans or Yankee fans.
They would love him when he hits the first ball in the freaking seats. They will love him. That's how they are. But okay, so 3 in Chicago versus the worst team in the league, and then 3 at home versus one of the best teams in the league. So give it to me.
3-3. I mean,
I could see us sweeping Chicago and then getting swept.
Very possible. Very possible. And this is so stupid. Major League Baseball shipping us off to Chicago for 3 games and then coming back home. What the hell's that about? It's dumb.
Oh, they don't like us.
Well, they're getting what they want. Yeah, 3-3. And then we'll see what happens with the Colorado series. Again, I still feel like we're going to win both of those, but that following week, man, I can't wait for that week to come and for me to push it back one more week.
Yeah, exactly. You'll do the push. You'll kick the can.
And then finally the All-Star break, I'll have to settle in and make a decision.
I haven't even looked at pitching, and I'm not even going to do it because I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to say we win 2 out of 3 in Chicago. I think we'll lose a game. We shouldn't.
Oh yeah, that's 3-3. That's what I'm
saying. I think we'll win 1 game against the Orioles, and I think we'll go 3-3.
100%.
Dorton did text. Dorton just texted me and said that he predicts 6-0 for the Astros.
Good. He did. So, that's good. The old call in.
Yeah.
Call in text.
I have it right here. Can y'all see it? Oh,
yeah.
You can't. Okay, yeah. Yep, 6-0. So
well, when you're out, that's what you get.
That's exactly right. So that's where we stand.
Can't get the 104 wins, Dorton, if you don't go 6-0, buddy.
So if we go 3-3, I predict it will be double-digit games back
Yeah.
from Seattle, and that's not good enough.
Yeah. And then we're looking at a wild card berth, which those things are movers and shakers, with buyers and sellers. All that gets shaken up in a hurry.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's sounds like Pete and repeat when we get on here, because it's the same old. What are we going to do? The only positive thing that we did this past week was got rid of Abreu, and again, who's the next bad guy on the island that we blame now? Verlander stepped right up and hurt neck and all that crap. So I mean, there's always something this year, and that's the thing that I just keep going. There's the sign. It's just not happening. It's just not smooth. But I don't want to admit the glory days are behind us, but that's probably the reality.
One more topic real quick, and we'll wrap it up. Did Tucker get hit by a COVID baseball that zapped him for the next next 2 months? Like, what was that?
Yeah, bomb. I'm guessing we didn't trade him. I mean, I just hadn't seen him. Yeah.
I mean, off the shin, I get it. It hurts. It went above the pad. I get it. But what?
Yeah.
Like crutches and like IL, and his IL stint is done, isn't it?
I didn't even know they put him officially on the IL.
Yeah, I think he was eligible to come back Friday.
Yeah, that it seems like I've heard that for 3 Fridays in a row.
Yeah, they retroactivated it to when he got hurt. Yeah, so I think he was eligible. So everyone thought he was coming back Friday, and then no.
And I blame Dorton. I blame the Irishman, because he says, I mean, how could things get worse? And I said, well, what if he's gone for 10 games? And sure as crap, he is.
Supposedly, a real quick tidbit on the Kruger family that you know so well. And happy Father's Day to you, by the way, and to Dorton.
Yeah, everybody out there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All the listeners that are dads. But my dad, old Royce, Jerry Huntsinger, went to the game yesterday.
Yeah,
and I got a text message in the 8th inning from CK Jr., my brother, saying, Dad turned to me in the 6th inning and says, there's a no-hitter going on. And I just went, I go, yeah. Even when he wins, the Black Cat loses, because he's been on a streak like 8 straight games. He goes to the Astros and they lose. And so they won yesterday, but they lost the no-hitter. I'm like, why did he say that?
Of course. Yeah. I got one from Shanefield when Presley came in there, and basically Shanefield was like, I mean, do the Astros just not want to win? I mean, it was
exactly
like, what are we doing?
I mean, how do you lose a no-hitter? Put in Ryan Stressel.
It took the pressure off of me having to watch. I mean, I'm sitting there and going, he's giving up a hit. 2 outs. No, he's giving up a hit.
Well, I thought the first batter was going to hit it into the Crawford boxes.
Yeah.
Or over him. And so he got the first 2 outs. So he gave us a little bit of suspense. But
and as bad as he is, Hader is just
he had he had a 2-week span that he looked himself, and now he's not looking himself again.
Yeah, he's worthy of a podcast discussion sooner than later, because we got him for 4.5 years to go. So,
do we?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
you would talk about some teams. I don't care. He's struggling. There'd be some teams lining up to trade for him.
Yeah. Well, he would be a candidate. Him and Presley for sure. So,
all right, man. We'll wrap it up. You guys have a good one. Thank you, everyone. Like, share, give us feedback. Appreciate it. We'll get this out either this evening or first thing in the morning. And with that being said, go Stros.
Go Stros.